The Oracle of Omaha is bowing out.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Progressive Insurance. On the road and at home, customers can simplify their insurance needs and protect what's important by bundling home and auto with Progressive Insurance. Learn more about Progressive and bundling at Progressive.com.
From Marketplace, I'm Sabri Benishore, in for David Brancaccio. Legendary investor Warren Buffett is stepping down as head of Berkshire Hathaway after 60 years.
The time has arrived where Greg should become the chief executive officer of the company at year end.
Now, it was the man himself making the announcement at Berkshire Hathaway's annual shareholder meeting in Omaha, Nebraska. The Greg he mentions is Vice Chairman Greg Abel.
I would still hang around and could conceivably be useful in a few cases.
Susan Schmidt is portfolio manager at Exchange Capital Resources, and she was at that shareholder meeting. Good morning, Susan.
Good morning.
Can we just, remind folks real quick about Buffett's legacy in the world of corporate America and investing and what he has built here?
Warren Buffett has done something that really helps society understand the power of investing. And what Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, who passed away recently, what Warren and Charlie did was really emphasize the importance of buying companies, looking to them for the long term, and showing that they could have great success over time with that.
Warren Buffett's successor is Greg Abel, who was vice chairman within the company. What do we know about him? What's it going to be like with him at the helm?
Greg has been around for a long time. He's not a new face. And in fact, he's been the designated successor since at least 2021. What's interesting was that Warren's announcement was clearly a surprise to Greg as well. He's come from the energy side of Berkshire Hathaway, and he's participated in these shareholder meetings with Warren and Charlie over the years. He's been part of the planning, and Warren includes him and mentions him frequently, making sure that his investors and shareholder base know that Greg is fully aware and participating in the investment decisions that are being made. And I think the crowd is comfortable having seen Greg and having had this exposure to him as really the key investment person, that this will continue and the style will not change of their investments as they go forward.
Susan Schmidt, portfolio manager at Exchange Capital Resources. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, let's do the numbers. Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ futures are all down in the 0.6 to 1% range, with Dow futures down 252 points.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Bitwarden Password Manager, helping to secure personal logins during every career shift, fresh start, or new opportunity. Learn more at Bitwarden.com. And by Mercury. Mercury brings together banking, credit cards, and financial software to help businesses manage their finances. Learn more at Mercury.com.
We return now to our Odd Job series, What's That Like? Today we learn what it's like to work in aquatic animal medicine. Dr. Kara Field works at the Marine Mammal Center, a teaching hospital located on the California coast.
My name is Dr. Kara Field, and I am the Director of Conservation Medicine at the Marine Mammal Center. I am one of those people that got my interest and started really young with animals, probably 5 or 6 years old. What do you want to be? I was like, a veterinarian. I was very fortunate to grow up on the coast, but I didn't know that there were vets for aquatic animals.
Long before us, great travelers were crossing our oceans, risking it all to ensure the future of the next generation.
There's not really a focused track for aquatic animals or too many exotic species in veterinary medicine. Most schools have the option to do out rotations or externships. So I was fortunate to do such a rotation here at the Marine Mammal Center when I was in vet school. And I was able to go to Florida to Mote Marine Lab and work there for a few weeks, where I got my first real exposure to sea turtle medicine and met some manatees and some dolphins. And it was like, these are very different species from the seals and sea lions I'm used to. In wildlife medicine, we get animals in where we don't usually know their history. There'll be like a sea lion that's on a beach, unable to move. And in that case, you're like, well, it could be anything. So we do our very best to figure it out with the tools we have. And if we don't have the tools, we'll see if we can make the tools. It's not easy. They don't like to tell their secrets. So we have to get a little creative with how we learn about their health issues. The first time I cared for a baby harbor seal, it was like, oh my gosh, this thing is so cute. You just want to squeal and go like, oh, come on. But you can't. I know the best thing for that baby seal is for me to stay away, except for when it needs that care, and then let it be with the other harbor seals and be a harbor seal. I think for a lot of folks that work with these animals, the feeling of satisfaction, of happiness, of joy, and releasing them back into the wild and seeing them go home is overwhelming sometimes, especially because the other side of that, the severe injury, the mortalities, like those can really weigh on you. I was in Louisiana during the Deepwater Horizon oil spill, and we received hundreds and hundreds of oiled sea turtles. And I did not know what to do with those oiled sea turtles because there was no reference. Nobody had cared for that number of oiled sea turtles. We came up with plans, and some seemed to work well and others maybe not so well. But in the end, we were able to release almost all of those turtles. But some of them were you could barely tell it was a turtle under all that oil. And that's a direct human impact. We can fix, some of these animals when those direct impacts are felt. But how do we do better beyond that? So those are the kind of big picture questions. I'm like, I feel unsatisfied with, my contribution there. Like, how can I do better ultimately? My family was supportive of my interest in science. And I think that's a lot of why I was able to get where I am, is because of that support. Even when I failed, even when I didn't get into vet school, it wasn't like, oh, well, do something else. So, that's one of my take homes to folks who are trying to get into this field and make it, and is like, keep trying. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect system. Our desire isn't enough. So keep after it.
Is there an odd job you want to learn more about, or do you do one that you'd like to share? Let us know at Morning Report at marketplace.org. In New York, I'm Sabri Ben-Achour with the Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.